Hey, what's up? Well, I'm back again, back with another video, and what do you know? I got a haircut for the first time in this new town, okay? I had never gotten my haircut here, since we moved here, and, I'm wearing these glasses because some of my better pairs, the ones that I preferred, one of them actually cracked because I left it in the hot car. And unfortunately, that's bad for cheap sunglasses, so I'm just wearing these nice shiny ones instead. You can probably see the mess in front of me because they're so shiny. My dad just makes a medicine table out of this stupid desk. But anyway, what I'd like to talk about today, I've got some show and tell. Before I get the video started, I would just like to kind of show the dolls that I unboxed in my other video now that they're out of their package. Here's the little boy and the little girl. See, I like them because they're kind of in that in-between age group, as I've talked about. They're not little bitty kids like Chelsea dolls, and they're not even slightly older little kids like the Kidcore 7.5-inch dolls, but they're kind of like what used to be Skipper and Ricky way back in the 60s, when they were like maybe 10 or 11. And I just wish, they would have even more different sizes. Okay, and I just like that because you see how, like, this is a full-size Barbie, a cheap-made one. And then, there's these dolls right here. And, they're the same height, but, they're certainly not fully grown. And if they have the same body, they're certainly not quite finished with puberty, if they've even begun. Okay, and another doll, I've got them in this bag temporarily. Another doll that I have is, I probably paid way too much for him, but I wanted the Peter Pan, the modern Peter Pan doll, without buying the full play set, because he is yet another, like, notch below, say, Ken and Barbie, without being quite as young as these kids. So he's kind of like maybe an early puberty. So, he was naked, and I just dressed him in this outfit from Temu. And so, I wanted him, but I did not want the Wendy doll. She's actually taller than him, and I don't like that. I don't need another celebrity Barbie doll, and I don't want the whole play set because I have no interest in the movie. As I've stated before, I am a doll collector, not a movie buff, and not a cartoon enthusiast. Okay, so I couldn't care less about the movie. But there's the modern Peter Pan, and the fact that he's Hispanic makes him unique. But you would think that with as many Hispanic people in America that they would have started making more dolls like this. But unfortunately, they just don't have much variation, certainly not on boys. And another doll I want to show that's very unique and special to me is this Kidcore, who is, she's more the size that they should have made Wendy, like, she's more like, see, they made Wendy actually, more like a Barbie, but, she is a very special and unique Kidcore doll because she's one of the only Kidcores that had set eyes as opposed to painted eyes. Okay, not many Kidcore dolls are like that. And the way that I made her very unique and one of a kind is she has the body of a Piper doll, who is a little bit shorter than the main Barbie, like the Kelsey, is it? So she's maybe 10 inches instead of 11.5. And she's, this special head is a cheerleader head. She was made to be taller, but the set eyes, made those dolls special. And so she's got auburn hair, set eyes, and a Piper-sized body, which is like their Skipper. So she's very unique and one of a kind. Okay? Like, I would not sell her ever. Okay? like for any amount of money, because I mean, that's how unique she is. You know, when you have a doll that's the only one like it in the world, I mean, you really can't list it at a price that, you know, I mean, because you would want maybe hundreds or thousands of dollars, and other people would actually see it as being worth less than if it were mint in box. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're only going to see it as just an ordinary doll. They're not going to understand the uniqueness and why she is unique. Okay, so enough about the dolls. In this video, I want to get on with a subject that I started talking about, I think, in the space room. I was talking about perfect attendance. You know, I just want to elaborate on what I was saying about how perfect attendance was just not one of the awards that I ever got in school. And I know, like, we're only at the beginning of the school year. I probably should have made this video near the end of last school year, but whatever. Okay, perfect attendance and I have a very odd relationship, in the sense that I don't really know how to explain my past. Like, if I really went in detail, you'd pretty much be able to narrow me down to just one person in the whole US. Whoever thought that way? And my very unique name, which is not Veronica, has a lot to do with me and why I'm so abnormal. But what have you. I think if my name actually were Veronica, I'd have a much more normal life. Might actually have long hair and not this dude-looking haircut and sunglasses, because it's partly because my name just makes me feel like a freak. I think that is in part why I just could not accept my femaleness to a certain extent. Like, any friggin' name would pretty much be better than what my name actually is. And I can't say that because then you'll find my Facebook and my mom. So, what I like to talk about, like in this video about perfect attendance, just really makes me mad to know that kids are still being awarded for that. And it's just infuriating. You know, every time I see a kid with a certificate that says perfect attendance, I wish I could rip it up. Okay, I am not kidding. That is how angry it makes me feel when I see some little kid holding up a little certificate that says perfect attendance at such and such elementary. I just wish I could just rip it up, you know? Because it's just, you know, especially since the pandemic, it just shouldn't be awarded, you know. And I guess, you know, part of it is just I am biased, because never in my entire life, ever, in K through 12, did I have perfect attendance. Now, did I have good attendance? Absolutely. You better believe I had good attendance. And I even had, like, smaller perfect attendance awards. Like, you know how if you didn't miss any school, like in a 6 weeks, then you would get, you know, little perks, you know, like little coupons to erase your lowest grade in each class. You know, they might give you like 3 of them. Like, you could pick 3 classes to erase one bad grade and or replace it with 100, however the teacher did it. So I had things that I won for good attendance, you know, and perfect attendance over a shorter period of time. You know, I may have even had semesters with perfect attendance in K through 12. But here's the thing. I never had a full year. I think my minimum number was 1 day absent in 8th grade and my senior year. Like, I was really trying to get it. I really wanted to have it just one time. Well, it still counted, you know, like in K through 8. But then, you know, I missed 1 day. I want to say like February 26th of 1998. And then my senior year, I missed 1 day near the end of the year, not because of senior skip day, because, you know, I'm just not going to take a chance with diarrhea like I've talked about before. You know, the worst thing you can possibly imagine is, well, you can imagine, because I've talked about it way too much. But that never happened to me, praise God. So I just didn't want to end my senior year on the crappiest note you could possibly imagine. And of course, that didn't happen at home either. Okay, so, but here's the thing. See, I never had perfect attendance because I had something much, much better than perfect attendance. And that's a stay-at-home mom. Um, and that's one reason why it is so important to keep these sunglasses on and not betray her or, violate her trust by posting my real name and having her found on Facebook or in real life. Because she was such a good mom as far as being a stay-at-home mom who never put us in a don't care or a day orphanage, which is what goes through my head every time I pass by a daycare. It's a don't care. But, I'm just so glad that instead of any stupid piece of worthless paper that you can literally wipe your butt with now that says perfect attendance, I am so glad I had something worth so much more, and that is a stay-at-home mom. She didn't go to work, but she was always there for us, and she did not have to resort to sending us to school with fevers and vomiting and diarrhea. And probably it's just so freaking amazing that I still remember the dates on some of my absences. Well, one in particular, Friday, May 2nd, 1997. And if you knew who I was in real life, and you knew me at the time, oh my God, that would totally ring a bell if you remember anything about me, because that was my 7th grade year was like when I started this fantasy about being some kind of an alien superbot, or I don't know what the hell, but I wanted to be some alien life form, that never got sick. And I don't know, I guess I was just being silly. But, I did get sick near the end of 7th grade. That was one of my healthiest years ever. I only had maybe 3 other absences in the fall semester, but none in the spring of 97. So that was the only day I was ever absent in the year 97. In the fall of 8th grade, I just went to school when I didn't feel well for the most part. And I was lucky enough for it to happen over the weekend and holidays most of the time. But, in Friday, May 2nd, 1997, I had a fever. And my mom just kept me home, because that's the kind of mom that she was. I'd have probably gone to school. I had 1 hour of sleep and a fever and an excruciating sore throat that became like a cough for about 10 days. And, the kind of mom that she was, I'd have probably pushed myself, to go to school and just sleep on my desk through first period and maybe second. But the kind of mom that she was like, no, you're staying home. You have a fever. I'm not going to send you to school just to have you sent right back home. So, I'm just so grateful, that she was able to be there, in K through 12. And then when my sister went to school and all that, which I was so mad that she got perfect attendance exactly 1 year in the 4th grade, and had her grandmother or our grandmother not passed away in 5th, she probably would have had it then too. Somehow, even though she did get colds and, she got sick a few times, but she just went to school. She was a bit tougher to an extent than me. She just, I don't know, she just always pushed herself just a little bit harder than I did. But as I've stated before, if I could have perfectly imperfect attendance, meaning at least 1 absence in every grade level, I would have that. But I never had perfect attendance, and I'm just so glad I didn't. Because it's just, I just don't see any advantage of it. Going to school and throwing up in a trash can, or, if your mom is a teacher, having her bring medicine for you or sign you out after one class, it's like, what's the point? Why? Why can't they just miss the day of school? Why can't moms just be stay-at-home moms? There's really, in retrospect, there is no advantage to even attending public school. You know what I'm saying? I often wish I were homeschooled altogether. I wish I could have missed every day of school and just not even gone. Because I see no advantage. It's done nothing but create embarrassing memories for me to look back on, and just make me cringe. When I think about the stupid things that I said and did at school. I don't remember anything. Pretty much don't remember a lot of what I learned at school. You know what I'm saying? Other than math and English or grammar. Other than the things that you actually use every day. I mean, for the most part, I mean, they didn't even teach me a lot of the things that I enjoy knowing, such as the moon. Like, I don't remember being told, about the phases of the moon. I've had to reinvent the wheel about what I actually want to know and learn. And instead, I've been given a lot of useless information about, like, things in the past. You know what I'm saying? History and, just stuff that doesn't really benefit me at all. Um, so anyway, perfect attendance is of no value. I'm glad. Um, as much as I wish I could have found some way to go to school on Friday, May 2nd, 1997, even though I had a fever. It's about the only day that I look back upon and say, man, I really shouldn't have missed. And it has nothing to do with, what we were doing and everything to do with who my teachers were. But that's another story that I'm not going to tell. So yeah, no advantage to perfect attendance, and I'll go ahead and post this video.